Hey guys, Daniel here, coming to you from Kinfolk Farm again. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I am standing right now inside of my chicken coop at the house. Basically, I have an older barn out in front of our house, and we just converted it over into a place for the chickens to hang out. So I have this portable chicken coop here. As you can see behind me, it actually has a lot of the chicken poop on top here. And so one of the things that when I moved this in from outdoors, I used to keep this inside the garden, and we just did like a little tractor, chicken tractor style thing to where the poop and stuff would just literally fall out in the garden. And so a lot of times I would just till that in when we were plowing the garden up. But when I moved them indoors a few years ago, I had some predators start getting our chickens, and when I moved them indoors at night, they started just nesting and roosting, I should say, roosting on top of this, their chicken tractor that was outside. And so what I do now is I let the chicken poop collect, and I know that sounds awful, but I just let it collect on top of this, and then periodically I will come in and I will just pull this off, clean this off, put it in a bin or put it in a drum and hold it. And you may say, well, why in the world do you do that? Well, I'm going to tell you a secret right now. That is the secret to my garden, is chicken poop. A lot of times I will put it out when I'm planting stuff. I'll put it out just before, throughout the year. I will broadcast it out over the garden in the winter months. And then in the summertime, this is what I typically do, and I'll kind of carry you behind the scenes a little bit to show you how I make what I call chicken tea. And basically what that means is I take this chicken poop, put it in a 55-gallon drum, and add water to it. And then every now and then just go in and stir it. And as that water, it just sits in there, I will utilize that water to pour on the plants. And it actually is an incredible source of nitrogen, incredible fertilizer, a natural fertilizer, if you will. And so that's one of my secrets. So what I'll do is I will take you a little bit behind the scenes of that process throughout this year, so that you can understand how I utilize chicken crap to make incredible vegetables, and this is one of those secrets. So we'll kind of go through the process to make chicken tea. What does that look like to make chicken poop tea? All right, so here's what we'll do. I've already gathered the drum here that I typically utilize for this. I'm going to pull this over to the back of this coop here. Just kind of slide this in place. And all I'm going to do is just a simple thing. I just have an old shop broom here. Nothing super fancy about this at all. We're just going to collect the chicken poop. Just brush this off. It's okay if a little bit gets on the ground. I can come back later on and scoop that up, because there's also a good bit on the ground as well that I will utilize. Move this around. Do the same thing here. Maybe you have chickens. I don't know if you have chickens or not, but all chickens have chicken poop, so you can do this same thing. And if not, you can probably go to a local, if you've got a local chicken house or something in the area, you could do something similar. I'm sure they would be glad to let you take some of their chicken poop away from them. And brush this down into the drum here. Now this is all dried out because it's been sitting here a while, and so there's no moisture really at all with it. Nice and dusty there. Then I'll just do the same thing over here. Just clean this off as much as possible. Now, one of the things I also do in relationship to this is this chicken coop here is their nesting boxes. So inside the nesting boxes, a lot of times they will fill up with, you know, just extra chicken crap, and I clean those out. I just use basic shavings, but when I clean that out, I just dump it over in this drum as well. And then that just kind of helps me, one, clean up the nesting boxes, but also repurpose this. And so that's kind of what we want to do. Let me grab one thing for us real quick. Here's one of the nesting boxes here. Let me show this to you. Here's one of the nesting boxes, and it's got chicken poop and some shavings and stuff in it, so I'll just do the same thing as I'm cleaning those out. I'll just dump that over in there, and that'll be fine. I just basically do that, and now I got a clean nesting box. And then I'll put this back in there, and got quite a good many. I got about a dozen eggs this morning, or this afternoon. Then what I'll do is I'll take some shavings. I'll take these shavings with what I've got, and I just utilize these shavings that you buy from your local Tractor Supply, and I'll just put some inside their nesting boxes there. And this works great for when I empty that out. It's just a little extra compost as well built into the chicken tea. That's what I kind of call it. And then just smooth that out nicely there, and then shut that back down. So we've got about 8 inches across this drum at the bottom there, and I typically like to have about no more than a foot because then it allows me to stir it a little easier. So we're almost filled up with this particular batch here that we will begin the process of making. Let's take it up to the garden now. Normally I like to go ahead and already have this in place by this time, but honestly just been so busy with work and everything, haven't had a chance to do this. So I'll pull this drum up there now and put it up here toward the top of the garden, mainly just because I don't like to be able to see this big blue drum from the road. So I'll put it out behind my red building here. And then a lot of times I'll go ahead and fill it with water and start the process anyway of making the good old chicken tea. So I've got it placed out behind the red barn here, so you really can't see it. It's not a big eyesore. And I've got it just under the overhang of the building. So as water runs off of that roof, it'll come right down, fall into this drum here, and then any rainwater will also help keep it full. So basically today, I'll probably put about a 5-gallon bucket full of water in it, and then just let it sit until it's time to utilize it to put on the plants. All right, so this bucket here just is a older Tractor Supply bucket. It already had some rainwater in it. So actually what I'm going to do for today is I'm just going to take this water and I'm going to take this bucket and I'm going to put it inside of here. And that'll begin the process to make this chicken tea. All right, now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take the shovel, kind of stir it around good, make sure that it's got a a good start. Make sure that all the clumps are kind of broken up. Just begin the process of kind of making this soupy. And then I'll just come back periodically and keep doing the same thing as the rain fills it up. I'll do the same. And then basically what we'll do is when the plants, when we first plant them, I'll pour some of this around the seed beds. And then as they get up about 6 inches or so, I'll come back and just take a 5-gallon bucket, or actually just a siphon hose, and I'll siphon this out of this drum that's actually sitting up on the hillside a little bit. My garden kind of slopes down toward the front, and so then I'll just take a siphon hose and just siphon out a little bit and put it on some plants that are either struggling or just not looking so hot. And this always brings them back to life and gives them that green, beautiful look and the incredible taste. I'm telling you, all natural. This is true organic farming at its finest right here. So the chicken tea will be delivered to the plant soon, that's for sure. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in today. If you've enjoyed this episode, I want to challenge you to do a couple of things. I want to challenge you to like the video. Look down and click the like button. And also subscribe to my channel. I'd love for you to continue the journey along here at the Kinfolk Farm. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.
Mm-hmm.